Service really isn't about what you get from it. It's about what you can give and you making a difference in someone else's life.
You're going to change your mind sometimes, and that is okay.
Keep letting your voice be heard. Don't let anybody silence you, and just remember that you deserve to be in that room.
We have to work twice as hard to get half as far sometimes. And it's through that perseverance that you'll really be able to succeed.
3 words to describe my experience at Stephenson. I'd say prideful. I think going on, once you guys leave Stephenson and go on to your college campuses, you'll definitely have a lot of pride in where you came from.
To be honest, it hurts to say this, but high school and really throughout the first couple of years of college, I didn't do a lot of service. I just was ignorant to it and I just didn't do it. And for some reason, one day I decided to volunteer at a soup kitchen. And it really humbled me because it was so many people, it was mothers with their children who didn't have anything to eat. It was fathers who had lost their families due to different circumstances. And it really just humbled me to realize that, service really isn't about what you get from it. It's about what you can give and you making a difference in someone else's life. And so unfortunately, it took me a long time, in my opinion, to actually be of service to people. But eventually when I did get to it, I felt passionate about it. I felt really fulfilled.
One of the mantras of my great sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, is service to all mankind. And I think that service and leadership, how it's played a role in my life, is being able to be actionable, not just listening, but doing the work. And the older that I get and the more experience that I gain from being in the educational field, still continuing on the marketing path, one thing that I'm very adamant about is doing the work. Being a leader does not mean delegating and telling people what to do. It's in the hard times being able to get out there with your people and doing the groundwork with them. And that's how you get things accomplished. So just remember that just as young adults going into college, that it's great to get involved with organizations. It's great to look up to those who are in leadership roles, but just know that those who are going to stand the test of time are those who stand not next to you, not in front of you.
But also know that you can switch. I'm going to be very honest. By the time I got to my 3rd year, I hated my major. I hated every single class. I got anxiety every time the semester would start. It's okay to change. I realized that I didn't have the money to change, so I had to thug it out. But going back, I said, okay, it taught me perseverance, it taught me how to handle that stress, how to handle that anxiety. And I'm not saying that's what you guys should do too, but when you're facing those levels of adversity, it's okay to take a step back, give yourself some grace and power through it, because I think we'll probably touch on this later on. We have to work twice as hard to get half as far sometimes. And it's through that perseverance that you'll really be able to succeed.
I think my advice is just keep it all in perspective. If you're having trouble with a single computer science class, that does not mean you don't belong at tech. That does not mean that you're not going to get an internship. That does not mean your whole world is ending. That's just not what that means. Kind of stay in the now, keep it in perspective, find folks that affirm you, whether that be folks from Stephenson who are at different schools, maybe other DeKalb County graduates. All my friends at Georgia were all from DeKalb. I don't know how, but we somehow all kind of gravitated. My best friends went to DSA in Southwest DeKalb. So just find people who really affirm you, keep it in perspective. And just remember, my favorite piece of advice, I think, for this pandemic period is that things haven't not worked out yet. So I know we're all thinking our lives are about to end with this pandemic. We don't know what's next. But we're all still standing. We're all still here, and things haven't not worked out yet. So just trust that they're going to continue to work out, and you're going to get through whatever is in front of you.
Everybody isn't born a leader, but I think that everybody can become a leader eventually. And it really takes finding somebody who you admire, who you want to be like, whatever reason that is, and just modeling yourself after them, reaching out to people, asking questions, and not being afraid to take on challenges, whether it's in leadership positions or just mental challenges that others shy away from. Because the worst thing that can happen is you get a no or you fail, and you learn from it and become stronger. And so that's my say on the leadership portion. I think whenever you get the opportunity, once again, map your vision out, map your steps out, take on those leadership positions, and just do your best to really get the most out of it. Because you're going to find out when you get out of college, even when you have your own families, the older you get, leaders are those who make their marks on the world and whose work live forever. So if that's how you want to be looked at, that's how you should really set your path.
And now we're in a situation now where we're dealing with the underlying issues of racism that have now come to the forefront and are affecting mainly you guys coming into adulthood and trying to reach your goals and kind of dealing with situations that we've been seeing for the past couple of months that have gone rampant. And it's very important that you guys realize that you do have to work twice as hard, but never let anyone treat you less than.
The microaggressions were probably the biggest part for me. But where I came from high school, and I feel like I was super vocal and super opinionated, when I got to Georgia, I feel like I kind of like silenced myself. I think because I was in the classrooms with white classmates and white professors, and then kind of like speaking up and then feeling like nobody's really listening to you, to the point where I kind of just started keeping my opinions to myself. So Kaden, this will probably be less of an issue for you. Brianna, this will more than likely be an issue for you once you get to tech. But just really challenge yourself to like keep speaking up. Like, your opinion is important. You got into tech. You deserve to be there. You're a part of that group. You're in that class. Like, let your voice be heard and keep on speaking up.
You're going to be navigating spaces where people are going to judge you by your appearance. I mean, I'm not a woman, but Brianna, I have two little sisters, one who just graduated Stephenson last year, and she's already had to, she doesn't have an official job, corporate job, but just in her first experiences of jobs in college, she's had people comment on her hair, her skin tone. She's a little bit lighter than me. Different other features that are, basically rude to comment on and things of that nature. And these all coming from white people. And as far as Kaden, I've had people comment on me about my hair and different features and things of that nature. Stuff that really can get you frustrated and make you really feel like life is unfair. But you have to realize that although I'm not saying take it, I'm saying just always remember that you're beautiful, you're Black, and you're envied by a lot of people. And don't ever let anybody make you feel any less superior or any less worthy, because it's just simply not true. It's a bunch of haters in the world, and it'll come from your own race, but it'll also come from other races as well. But don't ever feel like you're less worthy because of your skin tone or anything of that nature. Take
your time. Don't rush. Know that you have to have a balance with your personal and with your work life, which would be related to school and maybe a job that you may be working. And just understand that it's okay, and that you have resources such as us, such as your other teachers that you may have from Stephenson or other schools. Some of you may have family and friends that are going to be able to keep you together while you're in undergrad. So just know that we're here to support you. You have a community to support you, and that's our ultimate goal is to see you be successful.